Good morning. I am thinking about the structure of languages and how words can be incantations and how these incantations orchestrate our physiology. And so I just woke up. I woke up way too early. I've been having a lot of energy move through my body after the week of my period. I am drained. The week after my period, I have this surge of energy, which doesn't let me stay asleep for more than 5 hours or 6 hours at a time. And it doesn't help that I always have to go to the bathroom. So then when I reach that kind of amount of rest, when I have a lot of energy moving through my body, I then, it's like I can sense again more consciously, and then I have to go to the bathroom, and then I can sense it. And so, anyways, I was thinking of the structure of language, and the word meditate came up, and so I was feeling this. Sorry, my thoughts are being disrupted right now. So, if we're thinking meditate from the standpoint of the nature of language, incantation, words as having the ability to mean something to the body at a level that we don't understand. And so here's what I'm thinking intellectually, and then I will notice what I'm feeling physiologically, and then jump into what my intuition is telling me. And I think that that comes from my body. It's the data in my body, whether that's my DNA or my electromagnetic signature, able to access other levels of consciousness while I am, in fact, still having a regular cognitive conscious conversation with the camera. Okay, so here we are with the camera with the intention of you, viewer, listener, expression of energy, however you are experiencing this frequency, this vibration, this thought energy, this invisible energy. And so the words that we use have meaning, is my conscious awareness, right? So it matters the words we use. Why do they matter? Because they have meaning to people. Now, here's where it gets interesting. It's the meaning of those words that gives us the charge or the fuel or the awareness of what is being expressed by the use of that word. And I had to backtrack to say the use of that word and not what the person is saying or what you are saying. Because words exist before we can use them, right? But where do they come from? Like, I just think of the nicknames we give our kids or our loves in our lives and our friends, and or when we're in context with even one person, we may address them differently because there's a tone, there's an intention, there's an understanding we want to call attention to as we are speaking. And so I was very much thinking about my body before I came in to go lay down and meditate and hopefully fall asleep again. But it's around what access I have at various points in the state of my body and the state of my awareness. Because my body often is orchestrating on its own, and then I'm doing something, and maybe I disrupt the thought of whatever my body is automatically doing, or I need to stop the thought of what my body's automatically doing. And this is where mindset work comes in, because you're changing the language. And I've always had a vantage point, I guess I would call it, on mindset work that was very uniquely mine, because people would say words and they would expect me to ingest them in a certain way. And I would have a completely different experience of that. And I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole of how I have that understanding right now. But I'm going to draw on 2 points of advantage that give me this ability to have this vantage point. And I use those words deliberately because I think it gives us insight into the fact that there is always something else playing alongside the language we use and the words that are plainly in front of us in English, the English language. And the code or the data written within those languages, if we go looking in dictionaries and translations and root words in root languages. And so again, I've been thinking about my body, the physiology, how I relate to words, how others relate to words, how that, and I'll give you an example, okay? When there is somebody giving me a backhanded compliment, this is what it has looked like in the past. And backhanded, just for context on the expression, literally means they're complimenting you, but they're slapping you with the back of their hand on the face, which is a power and control tactic of the imperial world to express recognition or commendation to a subordinate while you are keeping them in line, in their place. And this is from a time where, we used to dominate through physical force, like what we're seeing out in the world today, is being done again because language, the bullying language that used to force us to step back in line, in the past, we see through it, right? We have experience now with another reality, either ourselves or we're grown, we have children, and so we understand something different, or we have an awareness of something different, of a different experience. And so seeing how when I don't kowtow to others bullying me, I just understood something. Oh my God, I'm gonna come back to this. I did a video in 2025. I'm still in the release of all of the early works, and discover and kind of documents that help me understand how this intuition thing works and how this frequency thing works and this awareness, consciousness thing, how to use it. I don't know how to explain it per se, but I've been using it a lot. And so somewhere down the line, on some higher frequency, in future or maybe in the past, in some ancient existence, who knows? It all blends in. Everything's all at once. If we, in fact, are playing a game, like a Jumanji, if you will, then part of us has this understanding of exactly what's happening. Wow, we think we know what's going on, and yet we have no clue. Oh, what was my point? Oh, fuck, I got derailed. Hold on. I looked up, it was 11:11. We're talking about somewhere down the road. Okay, so somewhere down the road, this is how I choose to understand my neighbor treating me rudely. I recorded a video in 2025 of my neighbor literally talking to me like I should be a slave. And I started laughing. And I'm like, is this lady for real? I had to walk up to my porch because I just felt so goddamn angry. And like in my body just flared up like fire. And like from such a defensive mode. And consciously, I was still confused about what the fuck this lady was on about, okay? Like, she just talked to me like I am the help. Who is this woman? And you gotta understand, I'm living in $1 million house in a high-class neighborhood, supposedly. Except this woman, very trashy behavior to her neighbors. Anyways, ethnicities of all kinds, and a lot of white people. I'm this Latina completely by myself. This house has been empty for like, I don't know, since it was built, with the exception of, so suddenly a person's in and out of there, and it's me. And I must be a worker, right? I must be a renter, right? I must be the help, right? And like, I've grown up in London, Ontario my whole life, in a multicultural school, in poor neighborhoods. I worked for the rich people in the rich neighborhoods, and then I went and lived in the rich neighborhoods, and then here I am, living way beyond my means, having no business in this house, just to please the significant other that is so defined by everything and does not want to lift a finger to do the work without just complaining about it. Anyways, so this is where I'm like, I can't do this shit. These people are too miserable for me. Anyways, I'm sitting there and she's like talking to me like I should literally just, I don't know how she wanted me to react, but like so rude, and like not just once, like repeated examples of this. And so somewhere down the line, we know we're playing a game, and I think this is why when we're really offended and they're just like, oh, this is just how it is. It's like either they really know we're playing a game, or they're really into this game and they don't realize that the rest of us can see them. The emperor doesn't have his clothes on. Anyways, I digress. All these examples and analogies to express what I'm trying to say. But the language that we use is by design designed to elicit a reaction. It's designed to command attention. And man, so much is making sense. As I speak this out loud, as I digest this out loud. So when I think about the word meditate, the next word that came up was medicine. Medical, medicate, meditate. And so, and this is where I keep like coming back to that game theory where I'm like, what if everything, every art piece ever created, every song ever written, every painting ever painted, every word spoken in poetry, every word spoken in meaning, every word spoken in intention was us from some other level of awareness trying to tell us the nature of reality. And where I really see this is in science and in technology. It's like, at the end of the day, we're always extracting from what already is. Rarely are we creating something new. It's like already predefined within the laws of physics, quantum or classical, right? So when I think of music and sound being the first way to connect to the beings in our environment, like I think as an infant, the first thing we do to take in this world is air, right? It's our first point of connection. Our creation happens in water. Our composition is earth. And our fuel, what's our fuel then? fire, heat, because a cold body is a dead body. And we're all trying to stay warm to stay alive. So there's got to be an element of heat, fire, fuel, heart, heat. So this is where I think our intuition comes to play and what we already know and the nature of sound and language. So in the English language, the way we pronounce, in all languages, the way we spell and the characters we use to spell the words, okay, in a written form, have a certain nature. They're a technology in itself. And words, like numbers, are part of our foundational building blocks. So, yeah, these are my ponderings. And I do these types of awareness tracking recordings because there's always wisdom in that meditative state where we have access to the unconscious awareness. And I'm starting to feel the difference when I am tapping into my body from the here and now, and when I'm accessing my body from a present state versus when I'm accessing my body from a theta state or a meditative state in my awareness, and how I have access to actually felt sense physiology at different points and in different states of awareness, but depending on my nervous system state or window of tolerance. So I'm very aware of this in my cycles. In my infradian cycle, from week to week, is how I process data and how I use my energy is materially different. Okay. There's a bunch of there's a bunch of oracle card reading stuff that I need to put up before I get this video up. So, fascinating. All of this is playing into my oracle card readings, which are around for the first 2 weeks of February, are around next steps financially and to earn income and to express my skills and to contribute to the collective with whatever projects are in